Hello YouTubers, today I repair the frog. Here's the frog. This was sitting on a plant pot and I crashed into it this morning with my lawnmower. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wash it in some water and some washing up liquid. There's a lot of dirt on here. I'm just getting rid of all the stains, particularly on the edges which have been exposed. Make sure they're clean and ready for gluing. There we go. Do all the small bits too. This frog was in the back garden. And it's quite a nice frog. I think it's from the 30s. So it's just the top edge that's receiving the glue. There it is. Now, I'm going to put quite a lot of glue on this. It doesn't really matter to me if the joint is a little bit messy because this is a garden ornament. It's not that, it doesn't have to be that precise. You're not really going to notice it that up close, so to speak. Okay, so that's the first part done. And look what's coming out of the hole there. Can you see that spider? The spider's had a nice wash and it's coming out. I wonder if there are any more in there. There he goes, on his web. If I shake him he might run away, find a new home. There we go, he's on the grass now. Ha! That was odd. So I'm just applying some hand pressure. Seems alright. So I'm thinking I could probably glue the basket together, that piece to that piece, put this in, and then perhaps assemble it there all at once. I've got this on my fingers and I can feel them sticking to everything. Now that little piece here, that goes in there, so that, I think that's got to go in first. I'm going to glue this on both sides here because this is a lot of pieces. I want to make sure that it sticks together nicely. So I've exposed part of the porcelain that's broken. I've got some glue on it. I've also got it all over my fingers. Together pretty well. There's some breakaway here You can see where the paint's come off and some of the porcelain is broken. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue in there just to hold that. There we go. It started to rain, so I had to come inside. Now, I put this together roughly just to see if all the pieces were there, and there's a piece missing. So unfortunately I couldn't find it. I spent at least an hour looking for it, going through the flower pot, going up through the grass and all around the place, where I smashed into this flower pot with my lawnmower, sent this thing flying. It was just perched on the top. So I couldn't find it, so I'm going to put it together anyway and try to come up with some kind of repair for the bit that's missing. It's right in here, the bit that's missing. But having looked at it, it seems like the best way to approach this is to start at the top and work my way down to the bottom. So just kind of offering the pieces in. This piece I realise goes up there like that. Then there's this little splinter piece that goes in here. So those two fit in there. Now assuming that's in place, then there's a wedge piece here, which is this bit here. No, it's not that bit. Nope. It's this piece here. That goes in. And then there's bits that go in underneath. So I thought the best thing to do would be to start with this and get this together. So I'm going to start by gluing these two bits together. So I've taken a drill and made a hole through the lid of this because I couldn't get the lid off. And I figured, well, I probably wouldn't be using this too much more. It's starting to thicken up, so I'll use it on this job and probably just get rid of it. There we go. I'll start by putting some on there. I've got it all over my hands, won't come off. Just get this bit here fitted. It seems to be about there. And that's going to go in there like that, I hope. So that I don't put glue there, for example, and it dries and I can't get this corner piece in, I just make a mental note that I'm only going to glue down to this line, put glue on, and then I'm going all the way over to the little point here. So that way I don't over glue it and make problems for myself later. I probably will now get this to the garden, you're not going to see it up close. All I need to do is just make sure it holds together when I assemble it. It's all there, so I know what to do now. So I hope you can see that. So we're going to move on to this piece, which is this bit here. Yep. I think this is the weirdest video that I've ever made. There's also a possibility once you glue it, depending on how the piece breaks, maybe eventually getting another piece in, getting another piece in the right place. So we can look at this quickly. So this piece is going to go in here. That seems to be okay. I think that'll go in okay. And then there's this piece here, which goes something like this. Now I think the best thing would be to fit these two together. Glue these two together and then offer it in. And then there's this piece here missing, unfortunately. Oh dear, that's a lot. This bit here. And this bit here. While I'm at it, I don't know whether you can see this, but I'm just going to run a bit along the back of that seam just to help it along. And before I get stuck to it, oh my goodness, I'm going to fit it. feels good. This is the piece I couldn't find. So I thought what I might try to do is to put a piece of duct tape. I've got this small 1 inch wide duct tape. But if I feed this in from underneath, I might be able to make a sort of layer of duct tape underneath the hole here, which might be suitable to support the epoxy. I'm going to try an epoxy fill. So use my finger. Whoops. It's more difficult than it looks. Move it over a bit further. I'm trying to get it far enough inside to pick up on the top there. So I'll just hold it in place with that stick, and then I'll stick it with my finger. So that's the first piece in. Just get it to stick to my finger like that. I can place it properly. Hey, that seemed to work pretty good. Now I've got to get it stuck onto the pottery so I can get my finger out. There we go. So can you see what I've done there? I've created a sort of platform. There we go. A little bit of epoxy. Can mix that together. Nothing like watching somebody mix epoxy. There we go. That's the thing about YouTube. You can sit there and watch people do these sorts of things and find it quite pleasurable. The mundane can be quite interesting at times. Okay. Right. So here we go. I'm just going to pour it in, see what happens. You can see immediately it's running to one end. So what I'll do is I'll prop this up a bit, see what happens then. Let it drip off. Over here, I might have to prop this up again in a second. Okay, I can see that there's a gap along the back there. I haven't made contact, so I'm going to try to drop it straight on to location. Gently connect it. There we go. Oh, it's a little bit there not connected. So I've got a sort of connection to the edges. I need to sort of prop it up like that. I'm just mixing up another batch of glue. I'm going to try to build that up a little bit. It's sort of set now, but it's a bit sticky, but it's set. Do what I did before, just let it drip onto it. Just try to fill it up a bit. Okay, I think that's fairly level with the top here. So if I could get, I may have to move it around until it starts to set, because it would just pour down one side or the other. So I'll just keep it kind of moving. So I'm going to paint it. I was able to make this paint colour, which is fairly close to this. It's not a perfect match, but I used this acrylic paint. It's Crawford and Black. I got them in a set of 6 colours: blue, red, green, black, yellow and white. And I used this green, which I added yellow, which kind of gives it that sort of lime green colour, and white. Quite a lot of yellow, quite a lot of white, to get it to this colour, which is not, as I said, not the perfect match, but it's not bad. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is this fiberglass repair that I did here. It came out quite well. However, I want to scratch it up a little bit so that when I put the paint on, it's got a slightly rough surface to stick to. So I'm just using this sponge here, give it a little bit of a scratch. Otherwise it's very slippery and sort of shiny. I don't know whether you can see that, but the gloss is disappearing as it gets scratched. I was quite pleased with this repair, to be honest. I think it came out really well. There we go. Just as long as it's not shiny anymore, I think there's a chance that the paint will stick. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to apply this paint to the legs and just see what happens. See how it turns out. I thought I had some artist paint in the loft, and when I had a look, it turned out that it was oil-based paint, or oil paints for painting pictures. And I did a bit of research thinking perhaps I could use that, and I thought it might actually be a better paint, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of people on the net that have used it. Certainly not in this context. So I just decided, well, I'll just go ahead with this and give it my best shot. See what happens. And it seems to be going on pretty good. I understand that this paint dries darker than when it goes on, so at the moment this is slightly lighter, which is not a problem. Also found out that these are not made of porcelain, which is what I may have said earlier, but they're actually made of something called bisque, which is a sort of cheap pottery, I suppose. I think they make mugs and things out of bisque, if I'm not mistaken, but anyway, getting this on. There is some texture to this, which actually is quite nice. So I don't mind if the green goes over onto the brown of this basket here a little bit, because the brown is a darker colour and I'm pretty certain we'll cover it without any problem. The arms of the frog were originally yellow. I can tell that just from under here where it hasn't weathered, there's still some yellow paint, so I'll be going with yellow there. Time to green along. I find this brush looks bigger. Makes the colour quite a bit better. I have finished painting it now. Here's a quick look at what I've done. She's holding the fishing rod. I've Quite pleased with it. I gave him some lips and some buttons.